Oh my God, he couldn't have come in on a better day. Now, before we bring in Philly.500, we started to do some stuff with Mark Holmes, and he keeps referencing a guy who I love, Philly.500, as that's my son. And I have to get some clarification as we start this here before we get into Jalen Hurts' comments today, Belichick potentially being the head football coach down the line here in Philly, and A.J. Owens all day long acting like a diva. Before all that, we have to pose the question, are you Mark Holmes' son? Philly.500.
No, of course I'm not Mark Holmes' son. Mark Holmes is my bitch. All right? That's just the truth of it. This guy bets me constantly and loses. He gets one time, he gets it on me, and it goes to his head. Let me tell you, you're dealing with a very delusional, very, very delusional man. All right? I mean, Sills, this guy, he can infect you. This guy walks around with a voodoo doll. It's satanic. It's satanic. Nah.
He's
Guys,
satanic.
he is. He sacrifices chickens. He goes around with a voodoo doll. Now, this is a very delusional man you're dealing with. Just remember that every time. I mean, you heard him talk about Kellen Moore. I listened to the show where he came on and talked about Kellen Moore for 20 minutes about how he's a choker in the playoffs. The guy can't even come to grips that his quarterback, without Kellen Moore, still stinks in the playoffs. The guy's delusional. Totally.
Is this all because he's a Cowboy man?
Well, it's that he's not only a
So
Cowboy
being a
man.
Cowboy fan has infected him.
Well, he's a Cowboy fan who wishes that Dak Prescott was his real child, and no matter what, he will go to bat for Dak Prescott to ridiculous levels. I mean, ridiculous levels. Dak Prescott throws a really bad interception. It's everybody else's fault. Like, this guy cannot come to grips. And this is my open question to Mark Holmes for the last few years. How many more playoff games does Dak Prescott got to choke in before you can put some responsibility on him? He can't do it. Can't do it at all. So he's a very delusional man.
I told him this. If you're investing in Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott to win you a Super Bowl, you're going to be waiting 30 more years. Because
it'll never happen. No, his quarterback's a choker. That Green Bay game was horrible. He was horrible. And there was no Kellen Moore. See, I think Kellen Moore's the scapegoat. So you're dealing with a Cowboy fan who, on top of that, is in love with Dak Prescott, who, on top of that, walks around with a voodoo doll, sacrificing chickens. And then on top of that, he can't take responsibility to the players that really deserve some responsibility. So he's a delusional man.
Well, let's get to the high drama today of Kim Kardashian and A.J. Brown. Now, I'm going to lay this out to you today, and I want to lay this out, and then you tell me if it's over the top, on point, some truths. So, earlier today, Xander, let's bring up some of these here.
I feel like this is a fixed court case already. I can only answer so.
It would be like a Trump case. It would be like a Trump case. Then.
That's right.
Okay, so here, he changed all of his social media to the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
TB12 is my favorite player ever. I watched Dynasty and brought back some great memories from my childhood. Go back and look it up. 2015, when he was doubted, disrespected. Yeah, I see the disrespect. I'm not sure what that means. Motivated. Yes, that's it. I did not think changing my PFP to the greatest quarterback would cause such controversy. Now, Xander, bring up the next one. Now, this is a report. The Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown started following the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots, Jacoby Brissett, and brand new acquired wide receiver KJ Osborne from the Vikings. Brown also changed all his profile pictures to Brady and New England, El de facto general manager Elliott Wolf said today, April 18th, that the team was in talks for a receiver. Now, I would ask you this. If you're A.J. Brown, you're making $25 million from the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point?
Of what?
Of doing any of this?
What all he did was one thing.
No, he started following players on the Patriots.
Well, maybe they're his friends.
On the day the general manager said we're in talks with a trade for a wideout.
Well,
you think that's by coincidence?
I think it's coincidence. I think, matter of fact, I think that the whole thing with the GM that we've known for a while, New England's looking for a wide receiver. There's been rumors about them going after Brandon Ayuk. So that's not a surprise that they're looking for a receiver. And I honestly, if A.J. Brown would have changed the profile to the Patriots logo, I would have a problem with it. But I get it. Tom Brady's a retired player now.
He's been there in 4 years.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, you know how many times I go back and watch
all on the day that the GM said they're looking for a receiver.
Did he say it today, or had he
the Devontae sign?
Nah.
Wow.
No.
And by the way, he's not drama laden, right?
Who?
Who?
A.J. Brown?
Who? I'm not talking about an owl shitting through feathers. I'm talking about A.J. Brown.
No.
You don't think that guy's filled with drama on the sideline, screaming at his quarterback?
No.
Having a symposium at his locker room, being not with his team in Tampa and at a bar in Atlantic City with
that
all
I don't
mamas.
that I don't know about. I don't know nothing about that. But I could tell you this. I think listen, he's a wide receiver. You know that they are a little bit,
and I agree.
That's just the nature of it. I mean, the fact is I'm going to be honest with you. I honestly think that Eagles media is so oversensitive to anything a wide receiver does because of what happened to Terrell Owens. I believe that there are scars that are still there. So anytime you see A.J. Brown being animated about anything on the sideline, it's the cameras pinpoint it, they single it out, and then everybody tries to make reasons why he's having a conniption fit or whatever. And then he comes out and tells people, no, we weren't even arguing about that. Nobody believes him. Nobody believes him anyways. So it's like he shouldn't even bother. I wouldn't even responded. I would have just let this thing roll, you know?
AJ, you can call your therapist on WIP in the afternoon and you guys can all hash it out again. And all the big bad media white wheels is doing all this stuff. I mean, come on, dog.
Listen, I'm not. You think?
Now look, wait a minute.
You think he wants out of Philly? Is that what you're telling me?
No. 1,500 yards and 100 catches. I'm going to take that guy being weak. I don't care.
Yeah, but what are we arguing? That he wants out of Philly, right?
No, I'm arguing that don't look to that guy for being some type of leader on your team because he ain't. And here's my thing. Here's my thing also. You had one of the absolute worst meltdowns in NFL history at the end of the year. Do you think that helps your head coach acting like a diva right now when people think he has no control of his locker room? You think that is a good look for him? He
doesn't have control of the locker room. I mean, the truth is, with the Sirianni stuff, like, to me, I look at him as a sitting duck. You know?
He is. Let me get to this. Let's move off AJ. I want to ask you one.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to circle back around because we gotta resolve this AJ thing. I'm getting nervous now.
Would you trade AJ Brown for the third pick in the draft?
No, probably not. But if I was going to trade AJ Brown, and if it had to happen, like let's say that it was decided, like the Hassan Reddick thing, where we got to move this guy. I'd have to get the third. I'd have to get Marvin Harrison Jr. I would have to trade up for him. Otherwise, to me, you're creating a giant hole on your team that you didn't have. Who are you going to fill at wide receiver? Would
you trade that once you acquired the third pick from New England? Would you trade that third pick to Denver for Surtain?
No,
so that they can get. Wait, he helped. Patrick Surtain helps your team more win games.
I love Surtain. I love Surtain. But I wouldn't do that. You're going to have to pay him a monster contract anyways,
in 3 years.
He's up for a contract the same time
No,
as
they
Devontae Smith,
just
right?
picked up the 5th-year option.
I think you're gonna have to sign him anyway. So I don't know. I mean, geez, it's just like you brought in Saquon Barkley to make your offense complete. You have two of the most dynamic wide receivers. Why would you want to ruin that? Like go build your defense with young guys through the draft.
Oh, yeah, because he's great at that.
Well, I mean, he is who he is. I trust keeping A.J. Brown over him drafting number 22, a wide receiver.
Okay, so let's move on to Hurts, and we'll circle back there again. And I got to get to another great story that came out today. So let me read you some quotes from your famous and favorite quarterback. This is from
Mark Holmes is dripping into your subconscious, Phil.
No.
This is
no,
Mark
wait a
Holmes
minute.
propaganda. All right.
I'm just reading what he said.
Okay.
This is from Sports Illustrated. I think as a player, I definitely yearn for the stability and consistency in Philly. As a quarterback, I yearn for those things in a play caller, quarterback coach, because you kind of see the consistency in those areas can breed excellence. I think he's talking referencing 22. I find myself in a situation here in Philly similar to in college in terms of a revolving door, in terms of coordinators, coaches, and philosophy. Does that sound like that guy is on page? Thank you, Big Marshall. Do you think that guy is on page with Nick Sirianni and the direction of his career, with the front office having a lot to say with the coaches they hire and the direction they're taking his career in? Tell me your takeaway from how he's talking today on April 18th about the front office before you even play a game.
He is being extremely honest. And we always say, we always give these guys crap because they don't come out and they don't tell us what they think. He's being honest. And you know what? He's right. I mean, you had lost your coordinator. You're now going to another coordinator. You've switched you start your career with So he's not wrong. He's actually right. And
who thinks can be right though?
Yeah. But I think that he hasn't had the stability they would have liked to give him. And I think that that's why Kellen Moore is in. I really believe that it doesn't really even matter about Nick Sirianni anymore, because I don't think he has much control. I mean, you watch him in the press conference, he looks like he's walking around wherever Howie goes. I don't think he has any say. I don't think he has any control. So I think it's a matter of more of what's your coordinator going to be. Is Kellen Moore going to come in 1 year, do a really good job, and then get a head coaching job? Possibly. But I think that he's being honest. And I think he's actually right. They haven't had the stability he needs. And Steichen got a job, and that happens. But the way they went with their offensive coordinator last year was a disaster. It was a disaster. And
so is he taking a shot at Howie or Nick or both?
I took it as the front office more than the coach, that you had revolving doors and no stability there. That's what I took it as. But I mean, maybe he's taking a shot at Sirianni.
No. I think you're right, and I'm going to show you why I think you're right. In that press fireside chat that they had the other day, here was my takeaway. When asked the question, Nick was asked a question from a media guy. By the way, none of this stuff is I'm not reporting anything. I just watched the interview like everyone else.
Well, it would be nice if, I would love for the media to actually press them a little bit. I think they let them off on the easiest questions and they don't follow up. Like the whole Hassan Reddick, the answer to how he gave about the draft picks and getting.
And he got offended by it.
And he got upset. So clearly that should have been a cue where we got to push this and understand what's going on. Clearly there was something bigger behind the scenes. And that's the only way A.J. Brown would ever get traded, if there was something that happened bigger behind the scenes that we don't know.
This is why I say to you that Vic Fangio, that's his call. Because when Howie goes, it's a win-win. Philly, it's not a win-win when you don't get
No,
compensation for 3 years. You
I
didn't,
agree.
and get
I
this,
agree.
where's the contract extension with the Jets?
None. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
an
I agree.
indictment on that deal.
I agree. Like I've said, that deal really threw me off. Like I've never seen Howie Roseman give basically lose a trade, and maybe at the end of the day it won't be. But as we sit
Unless
right
he was
now,
told to.
unless he had no choice, yeah, I feel like Howie had to do something he didn't want to do. That's what I think.
And I think that's Vic.
Yeah,
How
it
about
might
this
be.
one? When Nick was asked a question about personnel and draft, what kind of player goes into a Nick? He never answered it because he can't.
No.
He went like this. Man, the type of work, I'm paraphrasing this, the type of work that Howie and his people do, all the due diligence that they do. Um, okay, I mean, all the things that they do, you can't believe all the work. So when he makes the final decision on who they draft, that tells me all I need to know. He doesn't have any say in the game day roster. It's all
Right.
Howie Roseman
Yeah.
because those are Howie's players on how he picks them and how he drafts them. It
Yeah.
shows you right there how even more less of a control that Nick Sirianni has in that team, even on game days.
I agree, and the chances that Vic Fangio took a defensive coordinator job at his age, and to do what he's got to do, I'm sure he wanted some level of say in his personnel and who they get defensively. So I think with Nick Sirianni keeping his job, I think he lost more control. There's no question about it. He took the opposite path that Doug Peterson took. Doug Peterson wouldn't give up control, wanted actually more say. Nick Sirianni did it because I think if Nick Sirianni said, "Nah, Howie, I'm not doing that," I don't think he's here right now. Maybe Bill Belichick's our coach. I don't know.
No, I'm going to say, and here we go with Belichick now. Well, Mike Florio came out today and said that he had spoken to Bill and Bill's folks, and it was true. It was more of an introduction
Mhm.
call to Bill and an introducing kind of conversation because they were kicking around whether or not they were going to hire him as the
Right.
head coach of the Eagles. Florio and also ESPN and Fox Sports have confirmed that happened, that
Mhm.
Belichick was in conversation. Now, there's a $25 million price tag on that. See, everyone's like, well, Bill didn't get the Atlanta job. So you're telling me they took Raheem Morris at $8 million versus Bill Belichick in full control at $25 million? They went the lesser route.
Right.
Okay, that's why Atlanta hired Raheem Morris over Bill. Well, here's what I found out. Well, I didn't realize that Howie Roseman and Bill Belichick are as tight as ever. They're great friends. I
Hmm.
even asked Jimmy Johnson that. He goes, Howie constantly asks him questions about, personnel decisions, what have you, and they're great friends. If Howie was ever going to surrender personnel, could you imagine Bill Belichick fixing Howie's defense and Howie working contracts and cap management? What those two guys would look like in a building. I mean, he
Yeah.
drafted Jacoby Brissett. He was
Right.
interested in drafting Jalen Hurts. That's
I
known
mean,
also. I
yeah. I
mean,
mean, he's one, if not the greatest coach ever. Yeah, it would be crazy. Although I don't think, maybe I don't think a coach who's won a Super Bowl in one city has gone on to another city and ever won a Super Bowl again. I don't believe that's ever happened.
funny you say that. Only two quarterbacks, Brady and Peyton, have ever gone to multiple cities. I don't think that there's been a coach.
I don't think so either.
Because Vermeil won an NFC title in Philly and a Super Bowl in St. Louis. You're right. I don't think there's ever been a coach in pro football history during the Super Bowl era that has won in multiple places.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, Bill Belichick, I personally think they want Kellen Moore to be the head coach if it works out. But just because Belichick didn't work out now, it's something that could happen later on. Because I'm not really sure what that Nick Sirianni has. I don't know where he stands. If let's say they start off slow, is he going to be the guy that's going to take the hit? I don't know. So it's something that we got to kind of file away for a later day because it may come up again.
How about this though? Yale, I think it's more than 11. I think he's at 308, and I think that I think it's 323. He wants that Shula regular season record. Philly, Dallas, the Giants, and the Eagles are three teams that he'd be interested in coaching. The Eagles give him the best chance of winning a Super Bowl right away. Dallas doesn't. Jerry's not going to step out of the way. The Giants are eons away from winning a Super Bowl. If the Eagles got the right coach, I mean, Vic Fangio versus Bill Belichick with 8 rings. Come on, dog.
I get it. No, I get it. And the other thing is Bill Belichick in New England was always very limited by what they could do free agency wise and the money. I think with Philly, he wants somebody, they would go out and get it. So, I mean, I can see why it would be a very appealing job for Bill Belichick. I'm not saying it's going to happen or anything. I'm just saying, speculating, I can see why it would be very appealing.
Okay, let's circle back to A.J. Owens.
A.J. Owens? You mean the Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer?
Future Hall of Famer.
That's right.
Future Hall of Fame crybaby. Let me do
man,
that.
I think you kill him way too much.
Hold on, Billy. Hold on. Wait a minute. Why? For his antics, being a jackass?
I don't think he's doing, and it's not like
Jalen, throw me the ball more. Why are you throwing the Goddard?
When did he say that?
Didn't you see him on the sidelines complaining and bitching?
I didn't know you could read lips.
Trust me, I'm very talented.
You saw through the face mask. He's saying, "Throw me the ball."
It was even reported. How about Goddard going like this? Hey, I'd like to be involved in the passing game also.
Well, stay healthy.
Great. Touche on that. That's a great way. Stay healthy.
I mean, I think AJ Brown is getting killed way too much.
Wait a minute. Wait. I woke up this morning and my $25 million direct deposit went through. I thought that I would say, let me change all my social medias today because I really love the Patriots. Patriots are my favorite team, even though the team in Philly's paying them $25 million. My favorite team. And the general manager says, hey, I'm looking for a big-time wide receiver. I want to make a trade. Here I am over here. The Patriots are my favorite team. The Eagles aren't. You are. I grew up loving you.
When did the GM say? Did he say it today? Because I know that
Danner, show it to him.
I know it's been out there for a while. I know. I mean, we all know that New England needs a wide receiver. But the thing is,
but New England said too they were open to anything. But today he went out and went, and we're looking for a big time wideout.
I don't see if you want to win next year. I don't see how trading AJ Brown helps you in any way possible. Because even if you go out and draft a receiver, let's say they did give you the 3rd pick somehow, which they wouldn't because they got to draft a quarterback. But let's say they did, and you got Marvin Harrison Jr., still going to take him a few years to get to the levels that we need him at. So to me, all of a sudden, you have a giant hole at wide receiver. You still, right now with AJ Brown and team, you still need a wide receiver. So now I need
true. But why?
But why what?
What do you mean? Why what?
Why do we need another wide receiver?
Why does this guy have to be? It's 3. Can I tell you too? I said this the other day. You watch. They signed Devontae Smith to a contract extension. This guy's going to start kicking her heels up, and she's going to start complaining and moaning. It only took him 3 days. I'm going to change all of my. In 3 days, this guy's clicking his heels.
All he did was put his favorite player as his
and start following Patriot players in the starting quarterback for the Patriots.
You know what? That's probably because he probably put up a New England thing and then it probably showed. You know how the internet does it where they send you things.
Yeah. I think I'm talking to Mark Holmes.
No. I have sacrificed no chickens today. I have no voodoo dolls. Listen. All I'm saying is even if AJ Brown, what you're saying is AJ Brown wants out of Philly. That's what you're saying. And I'm saying,
No,
why on
I'm
earth would he
saying
want that?
no. I'm
You
saying this.
you have to be saying that
Well,
because
let me
you're
finish.
saying,
I'm
okay,
saying this. Why in the world are you paying a kid the same amount of money as me when I outperform him double to what he does? And you set the market at $25 million. Well, I am a $30 million a year guy like Jefferson and like
mhm,
Tyreek Hill. Why
uh-huh,
are you paying him? It's nothing to do with Devontae. It's to do with those diva market guys. Remember something. You're not paid on Super Bowls, Philly. You're paid on numbers
right.
when you're a
I
wideout.
understand that. No,
And
I understand that.
he's got $3,000 over the last 2 years. Devontae has $3,000 over 3 years.
Mhm.
He's been one of the top 3 wideouts. You're paying me the same as him? He's not in my league. And I happen to agree with AJ on this one.
He
So
is, right.
I
But
think the
that's
sweetheart got her little panties in a bind. And I think that the heels got kicked up going, hey, just remember who I am.
so you think he's putting Tom Brady on his thumbnail or wherever so that
You mean
he can send them
an organization that wants to trade for a wideout? Yeah, I think he's trying to hold them
well,
hostage.
if he posted the Patriots logo, I would agree with you. But
Isn't that a
to
slick
me,
way of
Tom,
not doing it? Posting a
man,
guy's
I mean,
picture that hasn't been
I
there
guess so.
in
If
4
if
years.
you're sitting there with your mustache, you're twirling, being conniving, I guess. But the truth is like, um, what you're saying, if we play the thing out to the logical conclusion, what you're saying is he wants to get traded to the New England Patriots who
Or
have
get
no
paid.
quarterback.
Or get a bump in pay.
Well, he's got to know. Well, if I'm his agent, first of all, I'm gonna tell him, well, yeah, you want to get paid, but wait till Jefferson gets paid. Wait till CeeDee Lamb gets paid. Wait till the market's reset. That's when we go get another contract. Plus, Devontae Smith's contract doesn't even kick in for another year. I think what you're saying is because Devontae Smith got a contract extension, he wants to go to New England.
No, he
Because
wants either he wants more money. Wherever that is.
it just doesn't
You
make
think that
sense.
guy gives a shit that he's an Eagle? I don't.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't care, but it doesn't make sense to me. That first of all, that it
See, I
doesn't make
think
sense that he would
Devontae
handle it.
cares being an Eagle. I don't think he does.
Well, you know what they say? They always say that the guys you draft, those homegrown guys, that's why you keep them around. The other guys could be viewed
Yep.
as mercenaries. I mean, there's truth to that, but I mean, what I'm saying is, first of all, you can't trade AJ Brown. It doesn't make any sense to do it. Second of all, I think that even if he wanted to trade, too bad.
Well, I wish
No,
he would have had that same mentality for Hassan Reddick. That would have been
well,
nice.
I agree. I mean, but the thing is New England. You trade him to New England. I mean, you got it. To me, you're basically saying we're not trying to win this year. We're taking a couple steps back because that's what you would be doing right
Sanders
now.
giving you the win on this.
Well, I am winning.
You're not winning. You're not
Definitely
winning
winning
this.
because
Your
if you take
little honey
it out,
is moaning.
if you take it out to the conclusion is it doesn't make sense that he would want to get traded to the Patriots. Listen, I watch the old Eagles stuff, and then I start posting photos of Jerome and Clyde and Reggie and Eric. I get it. Maybe he's using it. Maybe he's using Tom Brady, the GOAT, as motivation for him in the season. I don't
Wow, you really
necessarily
hold
always
this
have
guy
to think.
in that kind of.
No, I just
Think that
think
guy has that kind of character?
I think he does. I think he gets a bad rap. I do. I mean, Terrell Owens used to call out players. He did an interview where he said, "Yeah, if Brett Favre was our quarterback, we wouldn't have lost the game." I mean, that's doing something. That's a lot different than what AJ Brown does. Everything with AJ Brown is everybody trying to, tell us what they think is his problem.
No, I just went by what Honey did today. It was a full day of it. Then because and I do believe it was me because I was one of the only ones that was questioning it. He goes, I didn't realize that I had to acknowledge and why it was so controversial to put Tom Brady. Then you start following Patriot guys. And then the general manager says, hey, I'm making a trade for a big-time wideout.
Well, I think there's more. To me, it would be more concerning that he followed the Patriot guys before changing his profile. The Brady thing really does not bother me. If it was a New
my
England
favorite franchise of all time. Let me ask you something, Philly.500.
Yeah.
If you were being paid $25 million a year by a company and you were going around going like this, hey, I got to tell you, say you worked, I don't know, say you worked at Amazon and you went like this. I'll tell you what, man, I really love the people at Google. Those guys are wonderful folks. And you put the Google logo. No, you put the CEO of Google on your mask. And you're sitting there going, I really love those Google guys. You work for Amazon, though. Jeff Bezos, man, you know, I love that guy. And that company's paying you $25 million. You don't think that's a bad look?
Sills, I would take a nuclear missile straight at me for $25 million a year. Okay. You know, like
no, hey, I'm with you, dude.
My attitude and how I see those kind of things is probably a lot different than a lot of those ball players, because what I would do for $25 million, oh boy.
Oh, hey, dude, short of murdering somebody, I'm right there with you.
You know, you wanna just stand me up and take a machine gun me. I'll take my chances. You want
to know what indecent proposal is? I'll show you what an indecent proposal is.
I'll give you this. It's never going to look good, and it's going to make everybody talk about it and things like that. But I just have a hard time understanding why he would want to get moved to the New England Patriots.
I think it's money.
Well, he's only 2 years into a deal. I mean,
that doesn't matter with these guys.
But with Devontae Smith, he signed an extension that hasn't even kicked in yet. See, I think this is I do think we are talking about a future issue that will come up. This is going to be a situation in another year. I don't see it right now. And if I was A.J. Brown's agent, I would say, dude, chill out. Let Jefferson get paid. Let CeeDee Lamb let these guys get paid, and then we'll go ask. But right now, I don't know.
All right, dude. I got to get out of here now. Let me just say this. Is there any message you want me to give? I told Mark Holmes he sits in his mom's basement with his old lady's underwear on.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I like that.
Hey, any message you'd like me to convey to him?
Yeah, that Dak Prescott is the reason why you can't win in the playoffs. Just tell him that.
Philly.500. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate you having me on.
I do think he got me there a little bit there. Okay, I'll give that to him. Make sure you check him out. Got to take a brief time out. We'll be right back. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Underdog fan.